This video considers, are you the victim to your thoughts? I'm Helen from Creating Shifts with Helen, which is all about helping you to transform your life, to move from surviving to thriving, to make the changes you've been craving. And a little bit about the dancing. I'm dancing because this is what my sessions include. I use tools from cognitive behavioural therapy, quantum energy healing, personal growth and development and coaching, and we use the physical body to ensure that all those changes we make with those modalities are reinforced by ensuring that the body is processing and moving all those things out that we no longer require. So, are you the victim to your thoughts? What do I even mean by that? So, a lot of people don't even consider their thoughts at all. We can just allow our thoughts, allow them to flow, allow them to be there constantly because we're always thinking, and those thoughts can just go on uninterrupted, unchallenged, not evaluated, because we often don't think about our thoughts. I started thinking about thoughts post-education when I went into psychology after compulsory schooling, and that's when I started to think about thoughts. But a lot of people don't think about their thoughts at all. We just are in the place where our thoughts happen and we don't really give it much thought. And a lot of people don't even think or consider the possibility that they can control their thoughts and their thinking. We're not taught it unless we go into that kind of modality specifically. But our thoughts are so powerful. They create our reality, they determine our state. So actually managing them and being in control of them is so powerful. There's a famous quote that sums it all up. A wise man is master of the mind, a fool is its slave. And I think that really nicely puts that into perspective, that when we master our mind, our thinking, our thoughts, that's a powerful thing. And when we don't, we are slave to it and slave to our thoughts, and then we're kind of at the mercy of them. So getting our thoughts on our side, managing them, is a really powerful thing that can change our lives. So an example might be we can get into dwelling a lot, dwelling on what's happened, whether that's an argument or something that didn't go well for you, an event you'd rather didn't happen. We can dwell on that and go over and over and over it. And a little bit of reflection is to be encouraged, because that's the way we learn. But when we're ruminating and going over and over and over and over things, that's not doing us any good whatsoever. And we just get caught in that cycle, usually a negative cycle. So when we're dwelling on things, if we notice that, we can interrupt it and we can change it. We can start thinking of something else, kind of validate that this is what we have been doing, but now we're looking at building new habits and new patterns that better serve us. So Another thing we do that we can get caught up in with our thoughts is self-damning, self-sabotage, where we're on that kind of downer on ourselves, and it's basically self-criticism. We're criticising ourselves. We might be telling ourselves we never get things right, or we're rubbish at something, that kind of thing. And again, interrupting that, evaluating it, and even challenging it can get us back into more constructive thinking, because those kind of thoughts can be really destructive. They make us feel really crappy. They bring our state right down, and they don't do us any good. They can lead us into rabbit holes that we don't want to be in. So an example of self-sabotage might be, I'm no good at IT and tech stuff. I never get it right. I just can't get my head around it. And the thing with challenging it, when we've noticed it, because that's the first thing we need to do, we need to notice what our thoughts are doing. But if I recognise that I'm doing that, yes, I stop it, I interrupt it. But then I call it out and challenge it, because I can't just flip it. I can't just say, I can't go from saying I'm rubbish at IT and tech to, oh, actually I'm fab at it, because that's not the truth. My brain doesn't believe it, I don't believe it. It's more about finding those like small steps, because if I compare what I'm like with and my abilities now with IT and tech stuff, it's a lot better than it was a year ago. And we don't often look back to see how far we've come. We just look at where we're at now and where we'd like to be, and that just seems to be such a giant step. But yeah, I can, if I find myself saying things like that, I can call myself out like, well, actually, I'm not that bad. I'm a lot better than I used to be, and I'm still learning. I'm still picking up new things. I'm still getting support in areas that I want support in, and I'm working towards improving my tech skills, and that makes me feel a hell of a lot better and a hell of a lot more empowered than just telling myself I'm rubbish at tech, I'm rubbish at IT, I don't understand it. So that changes our state. And we can do it with the bigger things as well. I'm not good enough, that whole I'm not good enough that's behind a lot of the things that hold us back and keep us stuck and stop us progressing in life and stop us getting what we want. And that's what my sessions do. We look at those like deep things that are underneath a lot of our behaviours, or a lot of our lack of behaviours, our lack of action, when we're not stepping forward into what we could do and could be. We're holding ourselves back. So, yeah, I guess I'd encourage you to think about, are you the victim to your thoughts? Do they just happen all day long in your waking hours without you doing anything about them? And if that is the case, then I would encourage you to start to change that, and the first thing is, like I said, start to notice them. Start to notice what your thoughts are doing, what your thinking is like, what your thinking patterns are, so that you can start to do those things, interrupt them, challenge them, evaluate them. So if you are the victim to your thoughts, just doing those simple things really do start to turn your life around. They really start to change what you experience, because our thoughts are so linked with everything. Like I mentioned earlier in the video, our experience, our emotions, our state. And getting them on our side is one of the most powerful things that we can learn to do. It doesn't happen overnight, but you can absolutely start today just by tuning into what your thoughts are doing and to start exploring whether they're working for you or not. So check out my website, www.creatingshiftswithhelen, where you can download a free resource, which is 5 steps to help you, I can't remember what it's called, 5 steps that help you identify thoughts that limit you, or something like that. You'll find it on there in the free resources section, and you can check out the ways that I can help you and what my sessions do for you. And I'd love to hear your comments, so leave them below this. And yeah, stop being the victim to your thoughts and start making them work for you.